Welcome back to Critical News. As Terra Invicta exits early access, Force Admiral enters. Dawn of War 4 gives us multiple trailers and faction details but no release date. Plus we have some information on indie games Defcon Zero and Calyx. Terra Invicta, a Bonus Interactive's grand strategy game about defending Earth from alien invasion while navigating geopolitical chaos, left early access on January the 5th after 3 years of development. This was the first game Hooded Horse ever signed, and it's become significantly more complex than where it started. The team made the Long War mod for XCOM Enemy Unknown, and that shows in its systems design. Terra Invicta bridges geopolitical strategy on Earth with solar system colonization. You control one of 7 ideological factions that form after aliens are detected in the Kuiper Belt. The 1.0 release includes a new 2026 scenario, current geopolitics, not the 2022 world state when development started, alongside a 2017 scenario where interplanetary travel already exists and you start from a different power balance. Over 50 new Earth regions have been added, there are revised annexation and federation mechanics, plus there's now a realistic combat mode. New hub modules expanded colony capabilities, the tutorial was updated, UI improved, and AI sharpened for Earth and space. The gameplay operates on multiple strategic layers. On Earth you place agents and control points across real-world locations, influencing governments, destabilizing regions, orchestrating coups. In space you expand across the solar system for resources, build orbital stations and remote bases, and engage in tactical fleet combat. Combat has cinematic and realistic modes, with realistic mode requiring attention to actual physics and weapon systems. Terra Invicta sits at 83% positive reviews on Steam, which is strong for a game that spent 3 years in early access, but development hasn't finished despite the 1.0 release. The roadmap shows work continues with bug fixes, UI and AI improvements, and long-term features like naval warfare for a potential Cold War scenario. The complexity is the selling point. If Europa Universalis or Stellaris feel too simple, this is worth investigating. If they feel overwhelming, avoid it. King Art has released detailed Dawn of War 4 faction breakdowns, unit mechanics, multiple trailers and story details over the past few weeks. A level of transparency about how the game works that's refreshing compared to the usual marketing stuff we get. What they haven't given us is a release date beyond 2026. The Orc faction breakdown explains the WoW mechanic. It's an energy meter that fills based on Orc count and enemy kills. Trigger it and every fighting unit enters a berserker state with combat bonuses. When you trigger determines whether you break through or get stuck in a grinding fight. Orcs have the cheapest units and buildings, fitting their approach of overwhelming numbers and constant expansion. Flash Gits bring Stance guns for range firepower, Squighog Riders deliver fast sticker spear strikes, Meganobs can upgrade to Combi Rockets for range or Combi Scorchers for area damage. Warboss Gorguts returns from earlier Dawn of War games. He fights in mega armour, slow, incredibly powerful with both melee and ranged options. His I'm out of here ability teleports him to safety while his Gretchen leave bombs behind. Guscutter starts as a beast snagger boss on foot that later unlocks a rideable Squigosaur from ability and a bone-chewing beast companion. It's the classic Orc power struggle, established warboss versus upstart challenger. Orcs gain veterancy faster than other factions, weapons and upgrades unlock quickly with more models added to units earlier. Successful Orc players get stronger faster, but losing veteran units means losing significant investment. The Dark Angels trailer shows them arriving during the Blood Ravens crisis. This is the first time in Dawn of War where you'll play as 2 different Space Marine chapters in campaign. The Dark Angels bring shock and awe tactics with elite units, Deathwing for slow punishing advantage, Ravenwing for bike-mounted hit and run strikes. Company Master Asteran leads the Deathwing and Chaplain Ezreal commands the Ravenwing. The Dark Angels and Blood Angels share basic units, it's their commanders and elite forces that differentiate them. Blood Ravens offer flexible strategic combat, Dark Angels offer specialised elite forces. Lionel Johnson appears, the first playable Primarch in any Warhammer 40k video game. He has a small pivotal role and is not available every mission. The irony is that King Art refused to include Blood Ravens chapter master Gabriel Angelos due to concerns over power creep, but one of the Emperor's true sons makes an appearance, however small that role may be. There's still no release date beyond 2026. The information volume suggests the game is far enough along to show, but still not far enough along to commit. Or are they waiting to see what Creative Assembly does next? Force Admiral, the Pacific Carrier War simulation from Dry Dock Dreams and Microprose, entered early access last week. You manage air group composition, search patterns, fuel states and damage control. Operational level Carrier Task Force Command. Early access includes Coral Sea May 8th, Midway June 4th, plus variants and a Coral Sea battle generator. The Midway battle generator is coming soon. You get playable fighters, save functionality, and TAC view integration through battle replay and analysis. The developer is direct about early access. Systems will change, content will expand, balance will shift. Save compatibility is not guaranteed. If you're not comfortable with that, wait for the full release. The 6-month roadmap includes new strike, search and seaplane mission options, plus Eastern Solomons and Santa Cruz battle sets. Graphics and sound improvements include combat chatter for aircraft and ships, static and animated crew, and new music. Other features include Guadalcanal and Port Moresby bases, German, Chinese, Spanish and French localization, and a functional scenario editor. Longer-term plans include refined service combat, submarines, search and rescue, extended direct gunnery control, new locations, and a complete manual and historical supplement. Interactive tutorials, in-game replay cinematic tools, and campaign modes are expected. Proper documentation is needed, but it's complicated. Functions are still being implemented, which creates localization and tutorial issues. Force Admiral tackles serious carrier warfare simulation while remaining playable. Early access makes sense. Systems are intricate, so played feedback is crucial for balancing depth versus accessibility. The question is whether the audience is large enough to sustain development through to a full release. And now for the headlines. Hot on the heels of their 10,000 wishlist announcement in December, Defcon Zero developers Tryouts Games have secured $4.5 million in funding. Defcon Zero is a real-time strategy game heavily inspired by the games of Westwood Studios, and industry veteran Tim Campbell is involved. We sat down with the dev team for an interview coming this Friday on the Critical Moves podcast. Don't miss it. Calyx, the RTS where your only enemy is a hostile plant organism, has released into early access. You run a mining operation on a planet overrun by the titular Calyx, an alien plant that spreads if unchecked. Early access includes the first campaign part with 16 maps, 5 difficulty levels, and a full tech tree. Skirmish mode has 7 maps with configurable starting conditions and shareable seeds for identical challenges. Your enemy isn't a traditional AI building bases and training troops, it's an evolving organic threat requiring different tactical thinking. Nuno from Strategy and Wargaming announced community-voted Game of the Year awards on Slytherin's hot seat last week. There are 6 categories with voting taking place on strategyandwargaming.com. Check out his website, it's one of the best strategy gaming sites available. Nominees will be announced in February, with final voting and winners announced in March. That's all for this week, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, it really helps. And drop by the Discord to say hello. There's a link in the description.